Is it better to have multiple LLCs or DBA? My name is Sam Bryant, and I help build and protect Florida businesses. So when you're thinking about multiple LLCs versus a DBA, you want to consider the costs versus the benefits. When you have multiple LLCs, the main benefits are that you get the full liability protection between each LLC. So you get the peace of mind to know that with each venture, the particular venture that you have is going to be insulated from liability from the other ventures. And this becomes very important as each venture establishes its own separate independent revenue stream and operating costs. When you have a DBA, the benefit is mainly flexibility because if you want the benefits of the multiple structures and the liability protection for multiple LLCs, you have to run your company in a very structured way to uphold the integrity of each LLC because each LLC is its own business entity. The DBAs don't have to worry about all that structure because a DBA is not a legal entity. A DBA is just a simple way of the public knowing who they're doing business with. So one LLC can have multiple DBAs, and each DBA can represent the actual business that the owner wants to pursue. So with multiple DBAs, the business owner gets to have the flexibility of how they want to operate, how they want to manage the businesses. If they want to use one bank account, then they have a lot of flexibility in how they do that with their one LLC with the multiple DBAs. The downside of that, though, is you don't get that liability protection that you get from having multiple LLCs. So if you're going to use a structure where you have one LLC with multiple DBAs, you have to understand that each DBA does not have its own separate liability protection. The liability protection is with the one LLC versus the personal assets of the business owner. So that's something that you really want to keep in mind. But another benefit of having multiple DBAs is there's less filing fees. When you have an LLC in Florida costs about $125 to form. So if you want to form 3 LLCs all at once, you're looking at spending about $400. If you're using an attorney may charge you per LLC. And on an ongoing basis, you're going to have to pay multiple filing fees. You're going to have to pay an accountant a multiple to file the taxes for yourself. With multiple LLCs, it becomes more complicated. So you get to save money on the ongoing and the startup costs if you're going to be using a DBA, because obviously the DBA filing fees are a lot less, and you may only have one bank account to deal with if you have multiple DBAs. So it just really depends on what's most important to you at that point in time. If you're at the very beginning stages of a company, you may want to consider the multiple DBAs with the intention of having multiple LLCs when you can afford it. If you can afford it, then, and you're adamant about pursuing multiple ventures all at once, then you would want to consider having multiple LLCs because you do get that added liability protection, and that added liability protection is worth the extra cost of the setup and operation of multiple LLCs. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions about forming multiple LLCs or understanding what a DBA is versus an LLC, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here to help. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope you have a great day.